Going to do a deck flip through of the Muse Tarot. So before we get started on this, if you could like this video, subscribe to this channel, share this video if you find it helpful for you, fruitful, I would appreciate that. Yeah, so let's just dive right in. This is a deck by Chris Ann. This deck I kind of bought on an impulse. I do tarot readings at Luna and Sol in the Ypsilanti area, and I just was inspired to buy this deck. And then it was funny because the next person, I always kind of, or I try to let people kind of like choose their deck. And the next person that walked in to get a reading chose to use the Muse Tarot. So it was like, yes, that's why I bought this deck. So let's dive right into it, shall we? This deck is kind of like a, So it is by Chris Ann. It is mass market. I believe they would have this through Hay House. Yes, it's a Hay House deck. And just simple box, sturdy box. Has a nice guidebook. If you have the Light Seers deck, it's similar. The guidebook is similar. I don't think it has upright meanings along with reverse meanings. I could be wrong. Maybe if I read down lower. Let's see. It says the Queen of Inspiration reaches out over the horizon and she waves her hand, summoning an unseen force of intention and love. She is the embodiment of warmth, joy, and she is seeking inspiration for the land below. Connecting with the ethers above, she downloads the keys to creation and she imbues the land with the belief in self-expression. This queen is a powerful messenger of connected creativity, and she wants you to know how accessible her creative force is. She asks you to hear the tones of creation within her. With her, I mean. She plucks the strings, her strings one by one and tells you to move in the direction of desire, knowing that you can master expressive attainment and success. Follow the sounds of your inspiration and enthusiasm and explore the edges of your courage, your self-acceptance, and your leadership. And then, so yeah, there's not like a upright and reverse meaning, but this is the kind of, I feel like this is the kind of deck where if you, in the middle of a reading, if you feel called to read the guidebook, it may be because there's something in there that you need to read. The backs are reversible. And this book is like, this tarot deck is like a collage style art. Let's see, let me turn it around. It's a collage style. The cardstock is, you know, it's like the Light Seers Tarot, if you have that tarot. It's a nice quality cardstock. Just kind of like a standard. It's easy to shuffle. I find that this deck is kind of thick, like the Light Seers Tarot. It's the Light Seers Tarot, but it's a different deck, basically. It's a little thick, but it shuffles well. So let's get into the cards, shall we? This deck, so I'll talk about the minor arcana when we get to it. But we have the Fool, We have the Magician. The Priestess. And I'm just noticing the runes behind her. Kind of learning about runes right now. Trying to learn about astrology, numerology, runes, human design, like all at the same time. So we'll see where I'm at by the end of the summer with all of that. We have the Empress. The Emperor. We have the Hierophant. And I like that this Emperor, by the way, this is a very, like, I'm getting divine feminine vibes from this deck. I'm getting divine feminine vibes, but I like how, like, for instance, the Emperor, it's like a female in this. So I always find myself kind of explaining the difference between feminine and masculine energy, and that, like, it's an energy, it's not a sex. So I like that they have the Emperor, which is divine masculine, being represented by a woman here, because it's really just about the energy. And we have the Lovers. And I can't really see too closely. This looks like a man. This looks like, I can't really see. It looks like a female in pants, but I like the like kind of the ambiguous nature of how sex is depicted in this deck. You have the Chariot. A lot of horses down there. Strength. The Hermit. The Wheel. These are like cycles of the moon. Justice. The Hanged Muse. And they've got the third eye there, which is nice. It's like using your third eye to really see the bigger picture, see things from a different perspective. Kind of inviting your higher self to help you see things differently than the way your human ego sees things. Death. Moth coming out of its cocoon, so it's like rebirth. Temperance. The Devil. The Tower. The Star. The Moon. The Sun. Awakening. And I love how it's like the beam of light is kind of coming from her heart chakra almost. It's like, because I believe that opening the heart chakra is kind of like the beginning of opening the higher chakras. And we have the world cosmos. So the minor arcana is labeled a little differently in this deck. They have, instead of wands, it's an inspiration. Instead of cups, it's emotion. Instead of Swords, it's voices. And instead of Pentacles, it's materials. So we have the Ace of Inspiration, the Two of Inspiration, the Three of Inspiration. So this is a very intuitive deck for people who read intuitively. I'm kind of starting to read a little bit more intuitively. So yeah, I'm a person who kind of, I just like to know what the card means. And as long as I know like the suit, like what suit we're talking about, then I kind of, I'm not like a visual person when it comes to kind of spiritual matters. I'm more clairsentient. I may develop clairvoyance a little bit later, but right now I'm really more on the clairsentient spectrum. So I don't, sometimes I'll pick up stuff visually from the cards I use, and I'd say most of the time I'm very just, this is what this card means, you know, like how does this relate to you? How do you resonate to this type of thing? So four of inspiration. We have Five of Inspiration, Six of Inspiration. And it doesn't bother me anymore to use decks that are kind of labeled differently. But when I first was learning tarot, I would, oh my God, I would get so, like, I would get so confused. Even when I first bought this deck, I was like, what? But I mean, it kind of makes sense. I just think of, I think the biggest suit in this deck that trips me up sometimes is the inspiration suit, because I don't personally think of wands as inspiration. I think of it more as like action. But usually when we're inspired to do something, we take some kind of action, but we don't always. And I think that's partly like a personal thing for me. I'm very, like my projector type, or my human design type is projector. So I don't always, I get a lot of ideas. I don't always take action on all the ideas that come into me. So for me, there's like definitely a like I distinguish between inspiration and action a lot. But for other people, it's like as soon as an idea comes to them, they're taking action on that idea. So I can see why for some people, they may not get so caught up on inspiration for wands. If any of that makes sense. My daughter, I think, is a manifesting generator. And I definitely see that quality in her. If she has an idea to do something, she's doing it. Like, she does it. And I'm not that way as much. It's like if she wants to make cookies, she's like, let's go make some cookies now. Right? Like, I had this idea, let's go do it right now. Nine of Inspiration. Ten of Inspiration. Page of Inspiration. Knight of Inspiration. Queen of Inspiration. And Muse of Inspiration. And I think it's interesting that the muses, which are like the kings, are sideways. They're kind of like printed sideways. So it's kind of like there is no upright or reverse meaning to those, because it's kind of the same either way you look at it, right? And that's very interesting to me. It's like this card is what it is. I don't know. Interesting creative choice, I say. Ace of Emotions. Two of Emotions. Three of Emotions. Four of Emotions. And I like how this card, it's like they're kind of stuck in a glass surrounded by water. And the glass is kind of invisible. Right? So it's almost like being in this place where you feel kind of stuck, you feel kind of uninspired, and it's really all in your head. Like you're in a place that really doesn't exist. That's interesting. That's what I get from this card when I look at it. Five of Emotions. Six of Emotions. Seven of Emotions. And I like that kind of expression on her face. Now she's got her hand. She's like, what should I choose? Which goldfish do I want? I don't know. Eight of Emotions. And the coloring on this card is very interesting to me because, Eight of Cups is all about walking away from something. And I feel like when we get that feeling that we should, I'm not always, but a lot of times when we get that feeling that we should walk away from something, it's usually some kind of divine nudge that we're getting that's saying, hey, this situation is not aligned. And this is not always the case, because definitely with me, and this is part of actually this came up in my astrology report, is that I have a tendency to quit on things early, or at least a desire to quit on things early. And that's not always coming from like a divinely inspired place. So I definitely see how sometimes this, you really have to listen to your intuition. Like, is this my intuition telling me to give up on this? Or is this kind of like my human self? Is this like my inability to stick to something that's making me want to give up on this? Like, what is it? You know what I mean? So really calming yourself and opening yourself up, surrendering, opening yourself up to receive that divine guidance, so you know whether or not this is coming from some kind of divine place or if this is coming from some human place. That's very important, especially for me. You have the Nine of Emotions, 10 of Emotions, and this card, there is a lot of color in it. I kind of miss the rainbow. Taste the rainbow. It's like this, I feel like there's more of a rainbow. I get more rainbow vibes from this card than I do from this card. Page of Emotions. Knight of Emotions. I kind of like how the horse is like splashing the water here, because it's like a lot of emotions bubbling up. I talk about this a lot as emotions. Usually when there's healing going on, like the Knight of Cups is not far behind in a reading, because it's like all of these emotions just coming in really, really quickly. And this depicts it really well, I think, because they almost look like teardrops. Queen of Emotions and Muse of Emotions. Okay, so we have Ace of Voices. I like the choice of using voices here because this is another thing I talk about a lot in my personal readings, is that to me, the Suit of Swords, like often, especially when the cards are reversed, like it's the Suit of Swords is about what's going on in your consciousness, things coming into your conscious awareness. And a lot of, like when the card is reversed, often it's like bringing out the negative, like not negative, the shadow aspects of that, right? So like often when negative thoughts are coming in, they often end up coming out. Like we, you know, unless we have a really good filter, or unless we have like really good control over ourselves, we often, those thoughts are often come out as a voices, things that we're saying, arguments we're having, you know. And so I like the choice of voice for this suit. Two of Voices, Three of Voices. I like the eyes and the tears. Four of Voices. She's like meditating, taking a spiritual bath. Five of Voices. Six of Voices. Seven of Voices. Eight of Voices. Nine of Voices. 10 of Voices. Page of Voices. Knight of Voices. Queen of Voices. Muse of Voices. Oop. Okay, last suit. We have the Ace of Materials. Two of Materials. And there's so much to look at in each card. I almost feel like when I do a full reading with this, there's a lot of noise. This is kind of like a nice deck to do smaller readings with, and really sit with the cards, sit with the imagery, and really, you know, read intuitively, really try to think about what each card is like saying to you. Because I have found that when I use this, because I do the Ankh spread, so typically I do like a bigger spread, and when I do a bigger spread, I get a lot of, with this deck, there's just a lot, you know. Three of Materials. Was I saying Materials or Voices before? I feel like I was saying Voices. Sorry, my daughter. Yep. Sorry, Materials. So we've gone on to another suit here. Four of Materials. Five of Materials. My dog is licking, and I don't love that licking sound. Come on, Rosie. I'm sorry, if you listen to my videos, you have to, hopefully by now you understand that I have animals. I have a lot of noise around my house. Kids playing outside, animals licking, cats jumping on me. So my dog is like, I don't want to leave. I don't want to leave the room. I'm just licking. I'm just licking. Six of Materials. Seven of Materials. Eight of Materials. Nine of Materials. 10 of Materials, Page of Materials, Knight of Materials, Queen of Materials, and Muse of Materials. Okay, so this is the Muse Tarot. I like this deck. This is like not my favorite. I don't even know if I have a favorite deck, to be honest. Somebody asked me that the other day, like, what's your favorite deck? And I was like, I kind of don't look at tarot that way. It's my daughter jumping around. I kind of don't look at tarot that way. The way I look at tarot is like, tarot is, I think I've said this before, but there are like rules to tarot. There's like standard rules, and it changes a little bit from, you know, like Rider-Waite to Lenormand to like, what are some other ones? The Thoth deck. You have like the De Marseille. Like there's slight variances. I think the Normand is the biggest kind of variance from all the decks I just mentioned. But for most decks, they follow like similar guidelines, but each deck is kind of an individual deck. Each deck has its own individual voice. Like I was saying with this card, with this deck, each card in this deck is very vocal. It says, it has a lot to say. You can sit with like one card from this deck and get a lot of message from it. This would be like a nice deck to use for daily one card readings. In fact, I might start doing that. So anyway, my point is that I don't have like a particular deck that I like better than others. It's just, I like the expression of humanity through all of the decks, right? Each deck has something different to say. It's great to have different decks for pick a card readings. It's great to have different decks to read for different people, pull different energies out in your readings and stuff like that. And so, yeah, this is a deck that has a lot to say, and I really appreciate that about this deck. So this is the Muse Tarot. I hope you guys have enjoyed this flip through. I hope it has been helpful for you. Let me know if you have this tarot. Let me know in the comments how you feel about this tarot. Let me know if you are thinking about purchasing this tarot deck, and if this video helped you to decide whether or not you want to purchase this deck. And I'll definitely see you next week. Bye.